The Ugly Duckling. Once upon a time, on a lovely spring day in the country, something exciting was happening. A mother duck's eggs were about to hatch. The eggs began to crack. Peep, peep, the duck said the ducklings. Quack, quack, said their mother. You are the sweetest little yellow ducklings that I have ever seen. Then she noticed that the biggest egg hadn't hatched yet. When the last egg finally cracked open, out tumbled a big, clumsy, gray baby bird. To tell the truth, he was rather funny looking compared to the other ducklings. The next day, the mother duck led her ducklings to the pond. The eager ducklings jumped right into the water. All of the baby birds swam very nicely. Even the one who looked different. See how nicely he holds his head. Thought his mother duck. Why, he's almost handsome. Later, the mother duck took their babies. The other baby ducks gathered around the gray baby and said, "Look how ugly he is. Leave him alone," cried the mother duck. "He may not be good looking, but he is a kind that he can swim as well as anyone." Soon none of the other ducklings would play with the ugly duckling. For a while, the little duckling sat all alone. Then he had an idea. "I'll practice my swimming." The ugly duckling went to the pond and swam and swam and swam. When he stopped, he was very tired. Then he looked around. The ugly duckling had no idea where he was. Suddenly, the duckling heard a big hunting dog nearby. The ugly duckling tried to hide, but he was afraid to move. He stayed in the water until morning, when he was sure the dog was gone. The duckling waddled down the pond road and found a lake where other wild ducks lived. He decided to stay there. He grew bigger and stronger still. None of the wild ducks who lived there would even talk to him because they thought he was too ugly. Soon it was fall. One evening, just at sunset, a flock of beautiful white birds flew overhead. They were flying south to find a warmer place to live for the winter. The ugly duckling stretched his neck as far as he could look at the graceful birds. He felt sad as he watched them. Soon he was shivering and felt very lonely. Winter came and the pond turned to ice. The ugly duckling set out in search of water that wasn't frozen. Soon he came to a farmhouse that looked very cozy. He waddled into the house and began his search. Finally, he found something, a bathtub full of warm water. It was much smaller than the pond, but it would just have to do. He jumped in and started to swim. The farmer's wife heard all the splashing. She was very surprised to find a large bird inside the house. She grabbed a broom and chased him back out into the snow. The duckling was really scared now. He found a hiding place under some bushes. Snow fell all around him. He tried to stay warm by tucking his head into his wing. The poor ugly duckling had a hard time. There was barely any food to eat. Hard time that long winter. There was barely any food to eat, and the icy wind made him very cold. Just when he thought he couldn't stand it anymore, something wonderful happened. Spring arrived. Now all the birds came back from their winter homes. It was warm enough to go back into the lake. How good it would feel to swim again. When the duckling looked into the lake, he was surprised and confused to see the reflection of a beautiful bird. He was surprised again when he heard some nearby swans speak to him. "Join us," they said. The ugly duckling suddenly realized that the reflection he had seen his own over the winter. He had grown into a beautiful swan. He wasn't a duck at all. No wonder he didn't fit in. When I was an ugly duckling, I never dreamed I could be so happy, he thought. Now that he had friends, the young swan saw beauty in all that surrounded him. The end.